This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. We just concluded the weigh-in ahead of Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury 2. Delighted to be joined for the first time by Mike Coppinger. Mike, the British have landed.
The British have certainly landed. Big-time pro-Tyson Fury crowd. And I loved how Deontay Wilder reacted. He channeled Hulk Hogan and went like this and just kind of welcomed the hate. So I think it's going to be great. I love having a pro crowd instead of a split one. It's just going to be amazing.
Do you think these guys take anything from the antics we've seen all week? Obviously, we've seen them shouting at each other today again. The press conference led to them not being able to face off properly. Do you think it's all fun and games for both of them at this point?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it is fun to help draw more hype toward the fight and get some more pay-per-view buys and make some more money. But also, these guys have been around each other an awful lot over the last few months. These guys are really big competitors. They're ready to fight.
Now, in terms of the weight, Tyson Fury very heavy, Deontay Wilder heavier than we've seen him for a good while. What do you make of that, and why do you think both men came in heavier?
Deontay Wilder couldn't really use his right hand for the first fight. He had an injury during training, and I heard he was a little sick the week of the fight, so that explains some of why he was 212. And he looks better now. He has more muscle. I mean, the guy never has an ounce of fat on him, and that's the same right now. At a career high, 231. Fury weighs now 273 after weighing, 256 and a half for the first fight. But he's in a lot better shape. It's a good weight. It's not like Andi Ruiz, I don't think. You see how cut his arms are now. And, he's still a little, he's not like chiseled out throughout, but he's in better shape than the first fight. And that indicates to me that Fury is serious about fighting Deontay Wilder on the inside, bringing the fight to him, and going for that knockout, like he said.
Tyson Fury, as you just said, has been vowing to bring the fight to Deontay Wilder. He's told us that from the very beginning. There's no reason for us to call his bluff at this point. How do you see the opening round sort of playing out tomorrow? Do you think it'll be battle of the jabs early doors, perhaps?
I think Wilder's going to start out slow like he always does, but I think Fury is going to try to press the action. And look, the faster you can get a guy like Wilder out of there, the better. So I think he's going to get a second round knockout? Of course not. But I do think he's going to press the fight, try to, joust with him on the inside, lean on him with all that weight, the way we've seen guys like Lennox Lewis and Vladimir Klitschko have in the past, other Kronk fighters. And I think it's a good idea for Tyson Fury. Try to sap that energy, go to the body, take that power away.
In terms of significance of this fight, where do you rank it among heavyweight history? Biggest fight since what, in your opinion?
Absolutely, positively, the biggest heavyweight title fight since Mike Tyson fought Lennox Lewis in 2002. This is the biggest fight since Mayweather fought Pacquiao. I mean, I'm not counting Mayweather McGregor here, but this is the biggest fight since Mayweather fought Pacquiao. It just feels like that, right? When you're walking through the MGM, like you said, relentless promotion. You have Fox and ESPN hitting you over the head with, ads to buy this fight. So this is everything we want in boxing. This is big fight boxing, and nothing gets everyone going like heavyweight championship fighting.
What is the significance over here of Fox and ESPN working together on a fight like this, Top Rank and PBC? Does that unlock doors for many future fights that we've been craving for so long?
Certainly can only help, right? Especially if this fight does the kind of pay-per-view numbers that everyone involved hopes, passing over that million mark. If we want to fight between maybe Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford, or a Tank Davis versus a Vasily Lomachenko, this can only help grease the wheels for those kind of fights.
With Tyson Fury, he made the quite surprising decision at first for us in the UK to leave Ben Davison and join up with Sugar Hill. Do you see it as a risk-changing trainer ahead of the most significant fight of his career?
I think there's always a risk when you have change like that, such sudden change, such big change in the corner. But I think he did it for a reason. Ben Davison did a great job getting him to a certain point. Sugar Hill is a more experienced trainer, has been in bigger fights. Tyson Fury seems to have more of a comfort having that Kronk mystique surrounding him. And Sugar Hill has proven that he can add some power to a guy's punches, and that's what Fury says he wants. And like you said, we have to believe him.
Now, with the significance of this fight in Las Vegas and this rivalry we're sort of seeing build up between these two, it seems like we're in the midst of the heavyweight rivalry of our era. If you're Anthony Joshua at home, what are you thinking watching this?
I think you're thinking this is all great. It's only going to be more money for you and bigger fights for you down the road. And I don't think there's any reason for Joshua to have any hate or bitterness toward this. Anthony Joshua, if and when he fights the winner of Wilder Fury, and probably Wilder Fury 3 later in the summer, since there is a rematch clause, Joshua's going to be sitting there for a big money fight and the biggest fight in boxing, period. And we're talking about a much bigger fight than we're seeing with Wilder and Fury even.
Common consensus at home in the UK is Tyson Fury coming out of this trilogy, the better would be good for us because it seems a more likely fight to happen. That said, do you hold hope that we could even see Wilder Joshua at some point? Back home it seems to be the feeling that we probably won't.
I think there's a lot of hope that we can see the fights. I mean, when there's enough money involved, we see people reaching across the aisle. We didn't think we'd get Wilder and Fury after Tyson Furys signed with Top Rank, but here we are. ESPN and Fox got together, bridged that divide to bring home a lot of money. And there's got to be, if there's enough money involved, people in business usually find a way. Look, whoever loses, I don't care. I want to see everyone fight each other. Let's get Andi Ruiz back in the mix. Let's get Luis Ortiz back in the mix. Let's watch both Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury fight Deontay Wilder, all three. Let's do a round robin like we had in the 70s and 80s.
You just mentioned Andi Ruiz there. Let's talk about him quickly. Mike, he had a couple of offers to potentially go and face Dillian Whyte in the UK, one for the UK and one for the US. It now looks like, we haven't had an official announced, they will face Luis Ortiz. What do you make of that move in that fight?
There's no done deal at all. I don't think that it's a foregone conclusion. There has been talk, but I've also heard a lot of talk about him possibly fighting Chris Arreola. Adam Kovnowski's been mentioned as well. So this little sorting through that, I would say Ortiz is definitely a possibility, like you mentioned. And if that fight does happen, I love it. I mean, that's absolute fireworks. Two big punchers, two guys who love to come forward. I think it's a can't-miss fight. And those are the kind of fights we need in between these mega fights to keep the heavyweight division going and maintain that interest in boxing.
With all the belts sort of tied up for the time being, we expect these guys to have a trilogy. Anthony Joshua's got his queue of mandatories. It looks like the rest of the pack are going to sort of have to establish themselves as the best of the rest by facing each other. That said, we're talking all things heavyweight. Who's your dark horse at the minute, the heavyweight division? We had the likes of Michael Hunter in here yesterday. Who is it for you?
If we're going with an absolute dark horse, I like Frank Sanchez. Not a lot of people know about him, but he's a Cuban. He was a great amateur. He's training alongside Canelo Alvarez at his San Diego gym with Eddie Reynoso. And this guy is just beating up sparring partners right now. He's going to fight on the March 7th undercard on Fox in the U.S. When Kovnowski fights Robert Alanias, he's going to fight Joey DeWaco. Waco's a tough but a limited guy, and you can show us a little bit more about Frank Sanchez. So, name to keep an eye out for.
Mike, thank you very much for making time for us. Pleasure to have you on. We'll see you soon.
Pleasure mine. Thank you.